I have some announcements to make, and it's pretty important. It's important, and I'm going to talk about my health issues, which everybody's fascinated with that kind of crap. You are, I know you are, so I'm going to talk about it. And the first announcement that I want to tell everybody, and this is going to be real exciting, is that my channel started moving again. So I was waiting until the channel was moving again to put some very important videos out. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Peter Caine. I'm the Bigfoot community president. I'm also president of the Bigfoot community. You know that, right? You don't know that. Well, it's a fact that I am. And that's exactly why I'm dressed the way that I am, because I have to go out in public, so I want to look like a redneck so that nobody, hey, there's the Bigfoot community president, because Bigfoot researchers really aren't known for being rednecks. So this hat I found over here by the driveway, it sat in the driveway for like 6 months, something like that, about 6 months. And then it started looking like this, like real sweet. And so I picked it up and dusted it off and let it sit in my house for a couple months, because I'm like, there might be bugs in it. Let's let the bugs, let them die off, And so that's the reason why I'm dressed this way. I don't want to go out in public and be mobbed. Like, oh, there's Peter Caine, the Bigfoot community president. So the point that I'm trying to make is I have stuff coming out regarding Bigfoot and the dog man. I was just waiting, because YouTube channels, they go up and they go down. And mine went up real fast, over like 100,000. It went from like 90 to 135, 40,000, and then it really sort of slowed down. And that was typical. I was sort of thinking that that's what was going to happen. So I've been sort of waiting for it to like start moving again to put the stuff out. So hold tight, because we have some stuff coming out that everybody's going to love seeing. It's science related, of course. Of course, I can't get my car out of that. Let's see if the Bigfoot community president can get the car out of the driveway. It's a lot of snow. I'm trying to rock it. We'll see. Well, I'll just keep talking. I'll get it out of here. I'm a professional driver. If some of you all didn't know this, I was a cab driver for many years. Hang on, I almost got it. Just got to rock it, baby. Come on. Now all I'm doing is putting gas on and gas off. I'm not throwing it into reverse and drive, which if I was driving a cab, I would be. Not that that's good for your car, but if it was a cab, I certainly would be. So know that if you're going to rock the car out of a icy spot, your car's not really made to go, slam into reverse and go into drive. It isn't. It'll be bad on your tranny, so don't do it. Unless you're stuck, do it. Fuck it. It's a car. That's the way I look at cars, is it's a tool, and I abuse the shit out of tools. I am just horrible with tools. Absolutely horrible. So that's coming out, the new Bigfoot stuff. I got Bowser in the back, and we're going to I'm going to take Bowser in some stores. He has his service dog vest on. I'm also a dog trainer, an artist, and a comedian. And I know it's confusing to some of you all that just came to my channel, but I train service dogs, hunting dogs. Hang on one sec. My nose itched. But I'll train a dog to do anything that's, a dog can do. Open a refrigerator. Like I said, I train hunting dogs too. Most of my business lately has been service dog training. I train a lot of puppies. People want me to train their puppies because they're smart. They're smart. Get a good footing with the dog. Just real smart, and they're paying me to wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and take the dog out pretty much and get it trained. So that's who I am, in case you were wondering. And I know, because I read stuff underneath my videos, and it's just like, Yeah, I saw him with a bunch of videos on birds. Yeah, I'm a bird owner, and I train any warm-blooded animal. I'm just not a dog trainer. So I have a raven named Sam, and I have a pigeon that thinks that I'm her husband, and her name is Remy. And I love her to death. I do. We had a kid together. I mean, you can't, not like that, not like that. She thinks about me like that, though. She does, I swear to God. But I knew she'd been telling me that she wanted to have a baby, and I'm like, sorry, baby, I can't help you out. And then one of my other birds, my pigeons, laid an egg on a metal plate, and I knew that they weren't gonna, for welding, and I knew that she wasn't gonna sit on it. So I took that fertilized egg, gave it to Remy. She sat on it, and then when she had to take a break, it takes 2 pigeons to do this, and there's only 1 pigeon. So when she had to take a break, I would hold the egg and keep it warm. Sometimes, 5-6 hours a few of the times, but daily, I was it was exhausting. It was really, really exhausting. So that's pretty much me in a nutshell. My health issues, I would like to apologize because I haven't been putting out as much content. I have about 4,500 videos, something like that, and I like to put out a lot of content. And I haven't been live streaming lately because I had some health issues recently. I had the flu, I had influenza, and that sucked. That's about 2.5 weeks. I also had, I have diverticulosis, which 60% of the people, or 50% of the people over 60, 50% of the people over 60 years of age have diverticulosis, which is an inflammation of the diverticuli. But you can also get something called diverticulitis, which is an infection of the diverticuli, which was very painful and kind of scary. So I was dealing with that for the last 2.5-3 months, and it was terrifying because, like me and many other people in this country, we don't have health care. And I have it again. What had happened was that my insurance lapsed. I had to send something in that I didn't send in, so I had to wait for that to... So I dealt with it myself, which was that was scary in itself. I had this thing in the back of my mind, well, if it gets real bad, I'll go to the ER. That's what I was going to do. So I dealt with it myself, which I'm not proud of it, but you do what you have to do. So I'm feeling much, much better as far as that goes. There's no more pain. I can feel it's, there's how do I explain this? Like if you cough or yell, you can feel it like a balloon sort of in your gut. It's really weird. And so that's really subsided. But I was having I'd be walking, or I was live streaming, and I know people were hearing me moan in the background. I was saying that was my hip. I got a bad hip. And I was saying it's my hip, but it honestly wasn't. And I just didn't want to, because I knew people would be like, Peter, you need to go to the ER. I didn't want to get everybody on my ass about it because I wasn't going to go to the ER because I was afraid the ER was going to hold me over, and I have responsibilities. I need to work like millions of other Americans. You need to work. By the way, when I got the flu, I know where I got it. It was a cashier at Wegmans. She was totally sick. I could tell. And 2 days later, I'm feeling like crap. It came on, but I don't fault her. I don't fault her because we're all in this situation where we have to work, and if you're sick, you have to make money. You have to make money to survive. So I don't fault her. I don't. But so so I get over the flu, and I'd been waiting. Here you go. Hear more about my health. I have shingles, and shingles is caused by getting chicken pox when you're a kid, and then that virus lays dormant, and then when you get older, it rears its ugly head, and it's sort of like having chicken pox, but in like an isolated area. At least with me, it was isolated by my spine. So I dealt with that for the last 10 years. I can remember when I first had it. I just started. It was probably about 12 or 13 years ago. I was dating this woman, Joan, and it was, man, I was like, I didn't know what was going on. It was right on my spine, and my back was killing me. And I was like, what the fuck is this? I remember laying on her couch going, oh my God, moaning, like I can barely move. So for the last 10 years, I have the reoccurring kind, and then about like last year or 2 years ago, a nurse practitioner I know, she said, if you're reoccurring shingles, the protocol is that you would get the shingles vaccine, and that would be helpful. Now they came out with a new shingles vaccine just recently and became available, and I saw that. The other one, they wanted you to wait until you were 65. This one is so effective. I think they're claiming 98% effective. And so as soon as I saw they had a new one out, I was like, I had the flu. I still had the flu. And 2 days after I was getting over the flu, I'm like, man, I'm going into Wegmans. I'm getting that shingles vac. And then, so I did. And when I did it, the pharmacist said, this is one of those vaccines that like you might take, and you're gonna get this, and you might feel really bad. You might feel like you had the flu. Well, that was an understatement. Only for about 24 hours. That's how long it lasted. But my teeth were chattering. I woke up at 2:30 in the morning. This is about 7 or 8 hours after I got the shot. I woke up at 2:30. My teeth were, like that, so intense. And I got underneath the blanket and went back to sleep. I woke up feeling better. And then the following day, I woke up feeling like way better. I have a real bad hip from an injury. And as soon as I started having the shingles, the hip injury was so much worse, because it's, that virus like attaches onto your nerve endings or something. I'm not a doctor, but that's what I was told. And so I've at times, like, it's been debilitating, the arthritis in that hip. Like, seriously, like I'd take a chair and sort of like use it to walk across my floor like it was a walker, something like that. Like, and I'm like, man, I feel like I'm a fucking 100 years old. I don't think like I'm 100 years old. I don't. I think like a younger person. I strive not to get into the that old person's frame of mind of like it's more difficult when you get older because you get set in your ways. Like, I know so many Luddites. I do. Most boomers are Luddites. They don't want to deal with technology. They have some excuse for it. Like, I have friends that like don't have smartphones, so you can't text them. So it's really kind of hard to have like a normal relationship with. I love my friend Jinian, but she makes it difficult to fucking like, I'd like to just text her something and I can't, Milk, Paint, and Wood Boys, same thing, man. I know so many people like that. They're like, no, we don't need that. Oh, really? Okay. Why don't you try it? Maybe you'll find out that you like it. It's a way to keep in touch with somebody like a normal person. Jinian. I'm going to call her in case she sees this. I don't want her to think that I'm not mad at her, but she's a bit of a Luddite. Both of them say the same thing. They say, well, we have iPads. Yeah, well, I can't text you on your iPad now, can I? Maybe you can. I don't know. Why don't you just go get a fucking phone? I'm a dandy, so I might as well run Bowser in here. See, it's first place. Why not? Pretty good. Bowser, sit. Not bad. Heel. Sit. Down. No, down. Heel. Sit. Yeah. That was not too bad. I've worked with a lot of dogs. The first time I take them in a store, they were a lot more amped up than this. I might have had, probably, when he was a puppy, I took him in a store. So that was pretty good. Bowser Kennel. I just passed this cemetery and it's fucking nasty. It's such a gross. It's gross. It's gross. They embalm you, or even don't embalm you. They're putting you in a box in the ground. No thanks. Oh yeah, turn me into a skeleton so that in 600 years, or whenever it is, whenever they feel it's appropriate, that they can, do some archaeology and dig dead people up. That's what it is. It seems like it's about 500-600 years. It seems like it's okay to dig people up. Doesn't matter at that point. They dig you up, and then what? What are they gonna do? Like, that'd be okay if they made some art out of my bones or something. I don't know. Turn me into a Halloween costume. Or not Halloween costume, like a Halloween decoration, like outside the futuristic house, the house in the future, like at the front porch, like, yeah, we bought the skeleton with some dude named Peter Caine. Check it out. It's fucking gross. It's fucking foul. It's a waste of space too. Like that, the cemetery in New York City, like there's one like when you're on Jackie Robinson Parkway, you drive through it, and it's just miles of dead people. It's fucking gross. It is. It's gross. Before when they were just I guess they were letting people, you're dead, you could bury them wherever. And then they were having problems with cholera because it leaks into the water system. So you're drinking dead people germs, get cholera, die, and they repeat the process. And so they made these laws, that you have to be buried in this place, the cemetery. So let's put all the dead people together, so it's one big area of disgustingness. It's just freaky. It is. It's freaky. I hate funerals. I don't go to funerals. I don't see any purpose in it. The only other person that I know that says that is Jinian. She's like, fuck it, I don't want to go. It's like, it doesn't really serve a purpose, the funeral, does it? I mean, it's for the living, I understand that. It's definitely not for the dead. It just seems like a waste of time. It's not like you're not mourning the person. You're not. Of course you miss the person. Every time somebody's died and I haven't gone to a funeral, I'm constantly thinking about the person anyway, so why do I have to go to a fucking funeral to break down in front of people? I can do that at home, It's just foul. It's foul. I know everybody has to go. I remember when I hear more health stuff about me. I got a colonoscopy last year, meaning about, I don't know, 7-8 months ago, 9 months ago. Just during the summer. I don't know. Anyway, so I was telling one of the nurses, I'm like, man, I'm terrified of death. I am. When I was going in there, I'm like, they're putting me out. So they don't put you all the way under, and I don't really know what that means. Some kind of Twilight deal where you're just out of it. Just out of it. So that they can roll you over and put air in your colon and put the camera up there. But I was saying before it happened, I'm terrified. I'm terrified I'm not going to wake up. And she said, the best thing that you could do is get everything in order. Oh, that makes me feel better. You want me to have a will? Gee, that's great. Which at some point I will have a will. I will. I'll do it, but it's not gonna make me feel any better. It's not gonna help. It's not gonna help. How is that gonna help? Oh, now I know that they're not gonna bury me in the ground and that they'll burn me or whatever. donating my body to science too, that doesn't really make me feel too much better, but it does get it burnt. It does get it burnt up, and I'm all for science, so that's a cheap way to do it. But they also might like use your body and take it to one of those forensic fields, and just that might be okay. Take my carcass and let the maggots get it. I think one of the best ways to die would be like if I was walking around in the woods, which I do that quite a bit, and I think about like, what if something happens when I'm out here? Because usually I can't get phone reception, or the phone's dead because I'm taking video out there. But like I'm out there in the woods and then I die, and then like the raccoons like eat my face off, and then after they eat my face off, the coyotes show up. The coyotes would show up pretty quick around here. There's a lot of coyotes. That's it. That's a dog that I fucking never see. I never see them. Occasionally I see them dead beside the road. But usually you never see them. You just hear them screaming. They scream like a kid or something. It's fucking crazy sounding. I've been walking in the woods, like going turkey hunting and shit. Which I might do that again this year. I just hate going hunting without a dog. You can't take a dog turkey hunting. So it's sort of a bummer, but they smell you, so you could you could be a mile away from them. They're gonna smell you, and they're not gonna even get close. So I don't know, I never really hear them in the woods when I'm out there at night, and I'll go when I didn't go hunting this year. I passed away. Ike's been he was ill for the last 3 years. It was difficult, and so I haven't been hunting because I'm like, I can't leave him at home. Oh, I'm gonna go in. I'm going hunting, Ike. I'll see ya. Can't do that. I couldn't do that to that guy. Well, I'm at Spectrum. It looks like it's packed. There's like a bunch of people that look like they don't pay their bill. So I am taking Bowser in with me, and I'm sure there's gonna be assholes in there that will bother us. And like assholes like the two people I just saw with face tattoos. That is not a good look. It's not. I'm an expert in fashion. I'm telling you, that is stupid looking. You look like a retard. No, you don't. You look psycho. You look crazy if you got a face tattoo. What a bummer. Oh my God. So, the TV's been locked up, right? It locked up today. It was locked up yesterday. It's a whole East Coast. I wasn't gonna come in. There's people coming in here to find out what's the matter. Why is the TV not working? Are you fucking kidding me? Like everybody in line was there, like even bringing back boxes, and they're like, your box is fine. It's a whole East Coast. Who would do that? Who would do that? I just been watching TV for the last few hours. If I'm watching the news or whatever, I just watch on Spectrum TV on the computer. That works. I'm not gonna go in and hey, what's the matter with my TV? It's not working. You're gonna go into Spectrum to ask them that? See what I mean? Everybody in there is a moron. They were all morons. I swear to God. And I was talking to the chick that took the box back. She's like, oh, they are idiots. They'll be coming in all day. Stupid. Real stupid. She was friendly, though. She took off an $8 charge, which is awesome. Bowser, you did good. Sit. That's pretty slow. Sit. Pretty good job, though. Bowser was good in Spectrum. The chick that took the box back in Spectrum, she was kind of flirty. It was a boomer. It was a boomer. Flirty boomer. Just thought I'd mention that. She's attractive enough. She's attractive. I didn't feel like I sort of like, by the way, do you want to, go get coffee? That was the thing when you were a kid. Like, the code for do you want to do it was do you want to drink some beer? And if the girl said, yeah, I want to drink some beer, that was pretty, it's like saying, yeah, we're going to get drunk and do it. Now, there is no code. I just I sort of just come out and say it. It's the truth. That's my approach now. Is just like, you're kind of cute, and then I'll say something else, like, why don't we do it? Why don't we do it? You're real cute. Yeah, I don't have a lot of tact. I mean, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Beat around the bush? I don't beat around the bush. I don't drink anymore. I don't even want to listen. I don't really even want to go on a date. It's the truth. I don't want to go on a date. I'd like to have some sex. I don't think that's going to go over real good. See, it's a problem. It has to be somebody that I know, that already knows what I'm like, somebody that I've already had sex with. So that sort of makes it real easy. That's what I prefer. I'm more comfortable doing it that way. We've done it before. I've already done it with a woman. I was just saying to one recently, I was like, we should do it. We should just do it like that. Let's do it. I'm in Beaver Dams. Maybe I'll come back into the city and let's just do it. Although I do have this plan with my house, which my house is being fixed up right now, is to like import dates for like weekends. That's my plan. I don't want them coming up here seeing my house the way that it is, because every time I brought a woman up and she saw my house during this construction phase, which has been 13 years of like, well, listen, I had the house and I didn't do shit to it for years. I didn't do anything. So when how many women have been up here? 3. They all said the same thing. It's a fixer-upper. I swear to God. The exact same words came out of their mouth. Well, it's a fixer-upper. Yeah, it was cheap. That's why I bought it, and I had a barn for storage. That's why I bought it. I bought it on the internet. I didn't even know what I saw pictures on the internet, the price was right, and I bought it. The real estate agent said, you're not going to even look at it? I said, what's the point at that price? And she laughed and said, okay, I understand what you're saying. And then she said, do you want it to be inspected? And I'm like, for what? She said, well, lead paint. I'm like, I assume that there's lead paint in it, which there isn't, which is real strange, because they didn't paint it. Nobody painted it. Like, there was some paint, but it was like, say like they put wood paneling up and then they painted it with some kind of latex paint. So I just ripped all the wood paneling off. Like on some of the walls, there were like 3 or 4 layers of like paneling type stuff, like just garbage, like masonite bullshit. So anytime I had any female up here, it was, it's set the same. When I first bought it, I came up here in the middle of the night. This is true. I got up here, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. I started like ripping stuff down, just pulling shit off the walls and shit. It was gross. I wouldn't use the bathroom. The bathroom was so gross. This is true. The bathroom was so gross, and I didn't know what was up with that bathtub. That bathtub had to go. But now I know what was up with the bathtub. It was like, it's hard water, but it's not like just hard water. It's extremely hard water. And, well, now, there's some, I think I have rust bacteria in there that just, I'm not being able to get rid of. I'm gonna try and sanitize the well again using 7% hydrogen peroxide. I can't find 7% hydrogen peroxide. I know that there's an Agway around here, but I'm not sure where it is. Oh, I know where one is. It's in Ithaca. But I mean, like, I wouldn't even use the bathroom. The toilet was gross. The bathtub was just like, it was people that did like race cars and stuff, and there was like grease, and it was foul. It was just like the bathroom was just like so nasty. It was so gross. But like I had it to a point where it was like just disgusting, just to a point where it's just sort of disgusting, and it grossed out every woman that came up here. It did. what are you gonna do? But now it's looking pretty cool, and it's comfortable. It's definitely comfortable in the wintertime. It's warm. It is. It's warm. So that's my plan, is to, like, once it's fixed up, then hey, when you want to come up to Beaver Dams, you know, just jump on a bus, jump on a, you know, drive up here, whatever. I don't know if a train comes up here. It might. Sure, the Amtrak must come around here. No, maybe not. Maybe not. They could even fly into Corning, fly into Elmira. Yeah, I'll pick you up at the Elmira airport. Get up here. And then come up here for a weekend and then go home. Because that's about all I can take. And that is the truth. I'm good. I'd be good for a weekend. I'd be like a real polite guy. I'd show him the sights. I'd show her the sights. You know, we go out to dinner at the finest places in Watkins Glen, which isn't very, you know, fine, but I could handle a weekend. Definitely. Not even like dating. Like I could always do at least 3 weeks if I thought that the woman was real hot. I could date them for 3 weeks. You know, maybe 2. Depends on how annoyed I feel. You know, how hot they are. Am I getting any knobber? You know, stuff like that. And if I'm getting knobber, I might last 3 weeks. But I'm like, I'm not like boyfriend material. I'm terrible. I'm a rotten boyfriend. I am. I've never been a good boyfriend. I know it. Now I'm not saying I'm cheap, like birthdays, stuff like that. I can, you know, I'll be generous. I'll give them like nice stuff. It's, you know, I always look at it like, you know, like, look, like if you're gonna get a prostitute, that would cost a lot of money. If I'm gonna get a disease, I want to know who's giving it to me. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna pay for it no matter what. The whole thing about prostitution is that I'm cheap, so I won't do it. But that would solve a lot of my problems. Like if I was rich and I could afford like somebody that looked like Melania, you know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, I'd be into that. That'd be all right. I mean, not Melania now. She's like getting long in the tooth. I'm talking about like Melania at like 24. You know what I'm saying? That would be thousands of dollars, and I can't even see paying 200. It's the truth. I could, and I would certainly wouldn't want a $50 whore. There's nothing. What's the old saying? Like, there's nothing worse than a 50-cent hooker. It's the truth. You want an expensive hooker. I'm at Hobby Lobby. I'm taking Bowser in here, and I know you're wondering, what's he getting at Hobby Lobby? None of your business. None of your business. It's important stuff. Okay? Maybe I'm getting potpourri. You ever think about that? Like, I'm fixing up my house. I need some potpourri, so when the ladies come, there's some potpourri in my bathroom. They don't have what I need. Some lady walks up. Is he working? He's got a fucking vest on, lady. Shut up. It's Mr. Bowser. Going Hobby Lobby to get some important stuff. They got great shit in there. It's pretty shitty stuff. It reminds me of Pier 1. You know that store? They sell a bunch of crap. That's this store. It sells they sell junk. It's pretty much junk. This place is packed with boomers. It is. It's Boomerville. Old ladies love Hobby Lobby, but there's a bunch of old dudes in here too. Here, heel. He's doing good. Sit. Good, heel. Actually, I said he's always working. Like, you mean you want to pet him and get him excited and fuck him up? Get out of here. I have had idiots explain to me that dogs are to be petted. Some guy on Facebook told me that. That's silly. Dogs are to be petted. Not if it's not your dog, idiot. You own a cat, so shut your fucking mouth. Well, I wore the wrong shoes today. I do feel like I'm duck hunting. My feet are wet. What am I gonna do? I'd be duck hunting with my dad as a kid, first grade. I'd be freezing, just freezing. You know, like when I got the shingle shot. my teeth were chattering. I didn't want my dad to know I was cold. Several times, like, Pete, why don't we go in? Aren't you cold? No, I'm okay, Dad. No, let's go, like that. I don't think I was a disappointment to my dad. I remember once, as first grade, maybe second grade, something like that, I was hunting with my dad. We were duck hunting at the Willow Club, and I was freezing. I hypothermia was setting in, I'm pretty sure, and we were in this all-terrain vehicle called a scrambler. I think you can still buy them, maybe. It was a small, kind of like six-wheeled thing that could go on the water and go on land. It'd just go through whatever. Not a lot of power, but, it could go through the water. And I got wet. I was wet. My feet were wet, and I was freezing. That was one of those times that my dad was like, I remember he had shot a canvasback, and we were looking for it. We were looking for it with the scrambler, going on, like knocking down cattails, trying to look for it. And I got wet. The cattails were wet, and it was getting me wet. And I remember that was one of those times that I was just like, I don't want my dad to think I'm a pussy. Just put up with it. Just fucking put up with it. My dad, he knew I was freezing because he, on the way back, he goes, Peter, you look cold. He goes, sit right here in front of me. And he took his hunting coat, put it around me, and he drove me back. I think he was worried about me. And I just remember, like, we pulled up, and he was getting the stuff out of the thing, and I was standing there going, whoa, and he's going, Peter, get inside. Go over by that heater real quick. Get in there. Take the boots off, take everything off, and get over by the heater. So that's what I did. And my dad came in about 10 minutes later. I think that was the time that we ran into Richard Walters there. Because I think that was that day. So then it got warm, and then we saw him. My dad was talking to him. That's the first time I ever saw anybody spit in a dog's mouth. My dad didn't really do that I know of. Maybe he did after we saw Mr. Walters, but he I said, why is Mr. Walters spitting in that dog's mouth? He goes, I don't know, let's go talk to him, And shit. Oh, well, that sucks. Well, let's go straight. So anyway, to make a long story short, Mr. Walters go up. My dad goes, Richard, Peter's got a question for you. And I said, why'd you spit in that dog's mouth? And Mr. Walters said, well, he's sort of nervous. It's a young pup, and he's nervous. And I did that to make him less nervous. It doesn't have anything to do with DNA. So if anybody ever tells you that it doesn't have anything to do with DNA, more or less it has to do with the mother dog. Like a mother dog would feed a dog by sort of regurgitating, something like that. And that's how he was explaining it, something like that. Like you're taking the role of the an alpha dog when you're doing that. You're feeding the alpha dog, essentially. I guess there's, food in your mouth, sort of, or has a taste to it, or whatever. But I tell you what, that is one thing that you wouldn't think that sounds like bullshit. It's not. It's not bullshit. You can do that with puppies when they're real young. You get the puppy, you just start spitting in their mouth when they're 7-8 weeks old, like that. You do that the first few weeks, and it's very beneficial, especially if the dog sort of has a tendency to get unstable at times. Like say you got the dog up on a table, and you're teaching it hold. You're teaching it hold, force hold, and the dog's real flipped out. And spit in its mouth, it sort of has like an instantaneous calming effect. At the very least, it causes a distraction to the dog. It does. It causes some kind of distraction, so it gets the dog to quit shaking. But a lot of people, and including myself, if I was getting a puppy and it was about 7, 8 weeks old, I might spit in its mouth for the first 2 weeks, every now and then, something like that, just to like, it's a dominance thing. It's about dominance pretty much. Like, I'm the dominant dog now. Yeah, I'm your new mommy. Anyway, so that's, I always remember that seeing that and asking Mr. Walters what that was about. And I didn't do it for years, and then I started doing it again. I was talking to my friend Rex. He goes, yeah, I'll do that too. Some people know about it. It actually, there's a certain group of people that do this with dogs. I've had Asian people tell me that Asian dog traders, that they do that. And also, I thought that had originated, that was a European thing. It's not. It's a Native American thing. It's a Native American thing, because I had several people of Native American descent like say, yeah, we do that. That's where that comes from. So, I don't know, just a little tip there. Everybody's looking for the stupid free tip that isn't going to help you, because you could spit in the dog's mouth all you fucking want. If you don't know what you're doing, it's not going to fucking help. It isn't. You got to train the dogs. People are looking for this little thing to make everything easier for them. Well, dog training isn't easy, okay? Dog training's hard work. It's repetitious, and that's key. And you have to be consistent. And if you're not going to be consistent, you're not going to get anywhere with the dog. People are ridiculous. They are. They're ridiculous. They just have no idea what they're doing. They don't. That's why we got 4 million dogs dying every year. And you can tell people stuff like, oh, this is probably going to really make my my audio sound horrible. I have a when I turn this on, or you've probably been hearing this. You're not gonna. I don't hear it, but there's some kind of noise that comes from the heater. When the fan is on, it sounds like I'm farting, but then people figure out, no, it's not farting, because it just keeps going, and that's because this car's falling apart. I burn oil like crazy in this thing. A luxury would be to have a new car, and it's not going to happen. If I have to go down the I can't go down to Brooklyn. I'm stuck here. I'm sort of stuck here. I won't drive down to Brooklyn with the dogs in this thing. I just be too much of a. I don't trust it. Get on the highway with the dogs and my birds. No way. I'm stuck. I'd like to go to Brooklyn, but I can't. And every time that I've had to like pick up a dog, or I just rent a car now, because I'm like, what am I gonna do? Like I have to drive, 150 miles or 200 miles, 250. I'm not gonna do it in this. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. Like, love to have a car. I would. That is like this. God, it would be like so awesome to have a car that I didn't have to like, just constantly worry about. I mean, I'm not worried right now. I'm 10 miles from my house. If it breaks down, I'll get it towed. I have AAA. I got Bowser on the back. I don't have a full load of dogs. We can put Bowser in the tow truck. It's one dog. It's not a problem driving this thing around here, but I'm sort of like, by having a piece of shit car, it's costing me a lot of money in repairs. I mean, I've spent, this is probably when I got it, I made a trade for some taking care of somebody's dog. It's probably worth about $5,000 or something. Since I've had it, I've put about 30 grand into it. It's pretty fucked up. It is. It's fucked up. I have a engine light that's been coming on. It's not on right now, but I burn oil like mad. So its days are numbered, and I don't really know what I'm gonna do. I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. I wouldn't be too worried if they had in Brooklyn, if you don't have a car, big deal. I'll walk down the street and get whatever I need. It's not down the street. I can get on the train and go get it. But here, I'll be fucked. They don't have delivery out here. Like Wegmans delivers, but they're not going to deliver out here. There's no way. And I don't even think that the Corning and Elmira Wegmans, I don't think that they have that service yet. So I don't know what. I'm complaining about my life again. That's what kind of bummed. Like Ginion, I'd fucking complain to Ginion. I was just bumming around. I could tell. It's clear I was bumming around. So I don't talk to Ginion as much as I would like to, because I'm afraid I start talking right like this. You know, I wear everything on my sleeve, and then, you know, my life stinks, sort of. It's not the worst life. It's not. I got this shingle shot, and my fucking hip is better. I have a cane in the car. I didn't take it with me to Bowser. Just then when I'm in Hobby Lobby, but you know, when I think about how rotten my life is, I think about, you know, there's a lot of people that have more rotten lives than me. You know, yeah, I got a bad hip and a bad knee, but there's, you know, people that don't have legs. You know, there's children that are, there's a kid being born today. They'll probably never leave the hospital. I've gotten 56 years of misery. You know, it's the truth. I've had 56 years of misery. So lucky me. Not always miserable, but the lows. You know, there's a lot more lows in life than highs. And then you're always like looking for those highs, those sort of keep you going. You know, thinking like, oh, it could get better. You know, oh, my channel could do good, and I could like make some money and be able to get a new car. But it just never happens. Then like you get a little bit, like I've had my channel's going up a little bit again. So it kind of keeps me going, so that I don't, you know, just cash it in and say fuck this. It's kind of how life has always been. Like, I was good in sports. I was good in one sport. But, you know, so that kept me going to school for a little bit, but then my grades weren't so great. So they kind of told me to get lost, so I couldn't do the sport. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, what's the reason for me going to school? If that's how it went down. They said, like, you can't do the sport. So I'm like, well, why am I even going to school then? I don't want to read your book. Why am I going to read your fucking book? You know, why do I want to read The Catcher in the Rye? Which I read after I got out of school. I did all my reading from 18 to now. I didn't read from, you know, like say first grade to, I could read words, but I mean I wasn't going to read a book. So I didn't read from first grade to the time, you know, I was booted out of high school. Right, you know, they told me I could go pretty much. They were sick of me, you know. So, but I did. I read everything that I should have read in high school when I was in the Navy. I called my mom up. I said, Sue, I'm going to start reading. And she said, well, that's probably a good idea. You know, like that. And I said, well, what should I read? And she said, well, why don't you just read whatever you want? And I said, well, I don't know what I want to read. And she said, well, that's one of the first books I read was Catcher in the Rye. She said, read J.D. Salinger. I said, all right, I'll do it. And I read that, and then I was like, all right, give me another one, Sue. And I can't remember, The Painted Bird, probably. I read that, and that was another one of her suggestions. Then I probably I started reading some stuff that some dudes in this guy Nick Clement. He was an avid reader. He liked science fiction, so I read some. I read Dune, and I read The Red Planet. So I read some science fiction. I just started going through all this sort of classics too, like, you know, just whatever you would have read in high school as a senior. I read all that shit. So I figured that I should read it, because, you know, I want to be able to converse like a normal person. But I couldn't talk about literature if I hadn't read it, which that's what I tried to pull off in school. I would look at the cover, and and then I might read the first page and the back page, and then I wouldn't even read the Cliff Notes. And then I might ask my brother Michael, who he did good in school. He went to Colgate, and then he went to Columbia. And so I'd ask him what the book was about, and then I remember one time my brother fucked with me and told me exactly the opposite of what the book was about because he knew what I was doing. But he used Cliff Notes. Why do I have to read the Cliff Notes? Why don't you just tell me what the Cliff Notes said, Michael? No, he wouldn't do that. So that's how I got through school until they figured out what I was doing. I got an A in algebra. I did. I got an A from cheating. This girl that sat next to me let me cheat until the teacher, Mr. Sachs, figured out that like I couldn't do math at all. I'm terrible at math. That is no shit. I still don't know my times tables. Why would I need to know that crap? What, you know? I can do it. It's no problem. But I mean, it's just like, I don't know. It's seven times 9. I don't know. Whatever it is, you know. 5 times 5 is 25. That's an easy one. 6 times 6, 36. It just didn't seem to like register that I would need to know that, and I really don't. But the deal is, if you don't do that, your mind, your brain doesn't really grow properly. That's the reason why you're doing it. You're exercising your brain, and they didn't explain that to me as a kid. Oh, I was doing other shit. Believe me, I was exercising my brain other ways, like drinking and smoking weed, doing that. I mean, I was interested in a lot of stuff, and I do sort of. I'm one of these people like I learn better when I hear it than reading it. I pick it up quicker by hearing it, and hearing it, seeing it. That's you know, better for me than reading. I can read. Somebody said, "Oh, you're illiterate." No, I'm not illiterate. I've probably read everything you've read. I just didn't do it until I was 18. I'm pacing myself. Is what I'm doing. It's my whole life. It's like I'm pacing myself. Don't want to make too much money. Pacing myself. I'm working up to making a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go in Tractor Supply and see if they have ducks in there yet. I sort of want a pet duck, but I was thinking about it. I don't know if I want to get the pet duck because if it's like a 6 to 8 pound dog, that's like the equivalent of, I don't know, 4 or 5 Sam the Ravens. That's a lot of shit. Yes, that's a big bird. I could have it outside for, you know, I want it sleeping inside, you know. You could go outside for a lot of the day. I wouldn't ever leave my pet duck outside, though. There's no way, man. It's like getting a rooster. If I got a rooster, well, a rooster would be, if it wasn't in a cage, it'd be a lot safer. No, I wouldn't leave the rooster outside either. There's no way. I'd have to come in at night. There's no way. My neighbors have some roosters that run around and they're cool as shit. But like today, I saw one of the roosters out in the road, and thank God, like the truck slowed down because I like the rooster. You know, it's just sort of free range, and I like it. It comes up on my property. We'll eat like whatever it can find. It's awesome. There's 2 of them. They hang out together. But I would flip out. Like, I've thought about, like, I could put a fence up, but then milk paint, I'm like, well, what kind of height am I looking at for a fence to keep the rooster and the chickens in? She said, well, when I first got mine, she has chickens. She said, you know, 6 foot. It could do 6 foot. It could fly up to a 6 foot fence. So that's where I have my fence right now. It's about 6 feet. But then I'm also thinking, when I'm talking to Milk Paint, I'm like, well, you know, she's like, yeah, but once they get established, they don't go anywhere. Which, see, that's the truth too, because like Remy, my pigeon, I can walk around with Remy on my shoulder in this parking lot. She wouldn't go anywhere. My door is open. Sam the Raven's not flying out. None of the pigeons are flying out. they're bonded to me, you know, and they're bonded to everybody else. I'm gonna go in here and see what they have to say about ducks. See what they're getting. Oh, I hope I can get out of this parking lot. This looks pretty fucked up. I'm thinking they don't have them yet. I think they come in the spring, but I'm gonna go in and ask. Yeah, he's doing real good on all this shit. He's pretty calm. He's gotten calmer as the day goes on. See, Tractor Supply, they're saying 6 ducks. I have to buy 6 of them, but I don't want 6. I got enough birds. I just want one. I just want one. You know, I could buy 6 and take one and give the other away, or just stand by the thing, pay for everybody's ducks. You know, here, you want a duck? I want one. I'll pay for all of them. I just want one. That might be an idea. I'm limping, but my leg, like the pain, is like lessened by 75% or something. It's crazy. I feel so much better. I do. I feel great. Can you tell? I feel really good. It's a lot better. Now I'm at Home Depot. Of course, Bow's. It's doing good. Got to get a 3/4 inch PVC pipe. Need that to make some weave poles. I think that'll fit right down, like in a these water bottles I have, so that like I could do them inside. I don't know. I think it'll work. That's what I'm doing. And maybe a rat trap just in case, you know, because I'm not going to keep, if I catch a rat, I throw those things away, but I want to replace it. Honestly, I don't know what's going on here, but I feel a lot better. My leg hurts. It does. It hurts, but it's not like it hurt before. I mean, was that virus just fucking with me for the last 13 years or whatever it was? Like, fuck. I don't get it. So, get up there, you're doing good. As we're pulling up to the self-checkout, the cunt says, "Can I pet him?" I said, "No, he's a service dog." And she goes, "Oh, well, that's why I asked." Okay, good for you, idiot. He's got a vest on. So you just ask, "Oh, he's a service dog." But since he's a service dog, I should ask? You fucking dumb cunt. Just do your job, okay? Do your job. Doesn't involve petting a dog, idiot. Nobody should be petting anyone's dog. No one. It doesn't matter if it's a house dog or a service dog. You're conditioning the dog to be excited, or if it's in a fear state, you're conditioning that in. Just leave everybody's dogs alone. You think it's okay because you ask? You think it's well, that's why I ask. Just leave everybody's dogs alone, idiot. You got to get your jollies. The dog isn't going to be paying attention to the handler, whether it's a house dog or a service dog, if some stranger is petting it. You don't do that. There are very few dogs that strangers can pet and it not affect. You're talking about these therapy dogs, and it's a certain 1% of all dogs can do this. 1%. Those guide dogs, out of the guide dogs, you know when they have a litter, about 1% of the litter. 1%. Not all those dogs are going to be guide dogs. About 1%. It's very small amount of dogs can do that. Don't do that. Do not pet anyone's dog. And if it was a guide dog, for God's sakes, you shouldn't be petting it. What's the matter with people? We've got a fucked up society here. It is. Society's a mess. It's a mess when it comes to dogs. People just don't give a shit. Oh, look, there's a dog. Mommy, there's a dog. Shut up, brat. Keep your brats under control, too. You shouldn't be indicating nothing to the dog. You shouldn't be making a kissing noise. You shouldn't be looking at it. When we were in Spectrum, this old fucking duffer that was in there, the idiot was in there waiting in line to find out why he couldn't watch TV. He went in all the way into the Spectrum, stood in line for them to tell him, the whole eastern coast is down, or at least all of New York State is down. That dude just kept staring. I was about to say, dude, quit smiling and staring at the damn dog. What's the matter with people? Get your own fucking dog, and then you can let whoever fuck your dog up. And that's another thing is, man, we have a problem in the society. We do. We have 4 million dogs being put down every fucking year. Every fucking year. Because of improper training, lack of training, or no training at all. That's all the reasons why dogs are being put down. People don't train their dogs. They don't know how to train them. And even if they get it trained, I mean, there's many people that are, oh, look, my dog's trained. Now I don't have to do anything. And then the dog goes in the shitter. Yeah, training is a lifetime of your dog, you fucking idiots. If you don't have the time for the dog, then don't get it. If you have a kid and you're thinking of getting a dog, why don't you rethink that? Why don't you rethink that? This nonsense of, oh, I have a family, I have children, so my kid should grow up around a dog. Oh, okay, idiot. Okay. Your poor dog. That's all I can say is your poor dog. This nonsense. Putting dogs out on chains in the backyard and bullshit like that. That's the attitude, too. It's like, well, if it doesn't work out, I'll just put the dog in the backyard. I've had people say that to me. Like, ask me, would it be okay if, like, it doesn't work out? We're going to get a puppy. Is it okay? Like, if it doesn't work out, and my wife's mom has a farm. Couldn't we just, like, take it up to the farm? No, you fucking idiot. That's, like, the worst place for it to be. This notion that the dog needs to run. You're a fucking idiot. It's just idiotic. It's fucking idiotic. It's a social animal, first of all. It should be living inside with you. Not out in a backyard or on a chain or running around a farm killing shit. That's what they do. They end up killing, whatever. It's a fucking dog. It's a subspecies of the wolf. They bite. 4 million people get bit every year, too. 4 million. It's absurd. It's absurd. I've never understood. Listen, my dad was different. My parents were different around dogs. They were. They're constantly drilling us, too. Don't run around the dogs. Peter, go make a fist and, let that dog smell your fist. My parents were different. Dog trainers that I know that have kids are different than you. Whatever you do, what do you do? You work in a bank, you're a lawyer, you're a doctor, you work at Walmart, you're a mechanic, you're a plumber. You're not a dog trainer. You're not a dog trainer. Do you have time to work with the dog and the kid? Do you? Why'd you get the dog? Why did you get a dog? Is it like, I don't understand people. I don't get it. You get a dog, you got to find some minutes in every day to train the dog. If you want it to go right. If you can't get the dog trained too, you better find somebody like me that's going to get the dog trained so you can step in and take over. People are so fucking stupid. They are. They're fucking stupid. They're stupid. It boggles my mind. It boggles my mind why anybody that has like a lot on their plate, meaning a kid, would get a dog. It just makes everything so much more difficult. It is. You got to. Man, we have grown up. Growing up in St. Louis, man, I had friends that they had dogs. I can remember David's house. I'd go over to his house. He had this dog Bordello. That's what we would call him. It was Bordeaux, but we would call him Bordello. And big German Shepherd. It was an aggressive dog too. It was aggressive, but it had training. But they were very specific. Don't pet the dog. Leave the dog alone. Don't do anything with the dog. There were several people that had dogs growing up that they had this approach. And I listened to them too. I went over to somebody's house and they said, don't indicate anything to the dog. I listened. That German Shepherd was big too. Made my hair stand on end. That's the sign of a good dog owner. You got kids, and the kid is gonna have kids coming over. Put the damn dog in a crate. Put the dog up. Yeah, the dog. That's a real common one. The dog bites, not your kid, but it bites the family friend, the kid's friend. It's very common. Just this notion that everything's gonna be okay. Oh. It's cute. So, like, he's real cute. That doesn't mean that he would never bite. He's a dog. He's bred to look like that. That doesn't mean that he wouldn't kill. Fuck yeah, I would kill. Come on. It's a subspecies of the wolf. It's nonsense. It's fucking just utter nonsense. It is. It's ridiculous. Be real controlling with the dog if you like it, if you love it. You want to keep it. You want to make sure it doesn't get in any trouble. Because I guarantee, even a dog like that bites a kid in the face or something, they'll put it down. Well, I don't know if the owners would do that. I'm just saying hypothetically. If a dog bites a kid, generally speaking, the owner puts the dog down. They're like, oh, I'm sorry. Well, we'll put Sammy down or whatever. You like the dog? Put it up. Put it up. You don't like me saying this, people? You want me to say that everything is going to be okay if you get a dog? Everybody should be treating their dog like it's a service dog that has, you have money involved. And it has to be used. You have to use the dog. We don't want anything happening to the service dog because we need it to work. That's not the approach that people take. It isn't. The approach that people take is dogs are to be petted, and everybody's supposed to have an oxytocin surge by petting the dog, and isn't the dog cute and funny? It's nonsense. This society is a fucking joke. It is. It is. It's a joke. You want to tell me it's not? 4 million dogs every year are put down, so shut up. Shut up. Do you ever see a PSA, like shit that I'm saying? Do you ever hear PSA on the fucking TV right before the 4th of July? Don't take your dog to a 4th of July party because it's the day when more dogs go to the emergency room than any other day. More dogs get hit by a car and lost on the 4th of July. Do you ever hear that in a PSA? No. Why? Because our society doesn't care, and most people don't care about their dogs. It's limited. They love the dog until. How many times have I seen the young couple, they get married. It's a young couple. And then they get a dog. And then 1 year later, they're having a fucking baby. How many times? I swear to God, how many times have I seen this? It's like, well, we're married. We should get a dog and then have a kid. You're a fucking moron. How many times does that not work out? Lots. Trust me, lots. They get a dog, they don't train it, and then they have a baby. And then, fuck, man, I got a dog in my house right now. That's well, it's not that exact same situation, but they got married and had a kid. Wasn't going good, so now Harley lives with me. You know, it was a dog that had issues to begin with. It was a bottle-fed dog. By the way, if somebody offers you a bottle-fed dog, don't take it unless you're a pro. They're fucked up. They're fucked up. Harley's fucking stupid as shit. She's not stupid. She's socially stupid with dog. Well, not really. Well, yeah, I don't really trust her around all dogs, but around people? Are you fucking kidding me? That fucks them up. You bottle feed a dog. Most people don't even know how to bottle feed a dog. I see it on the internet. They're like, you know that dog's gonna aspirate, But they bottle feed the dog. It's away from its litter when it shouldn't be. When it should be learning. It should be learning with its litter mates and the mother. So they have it at 3, 4, 5 weeks, and they're bottle feeding it, cooing to the dog, trying to get it to eat. Just totally screwing the dog up. There's like these important stages in a dog's life. You can't reproduce those. You can't reproduce those. Never accept a bottle-fed dog. Never. What are you thinking? It's nonsense. It is. It's fucking utter nonsense, especially with a dog. Like, maybe if you get a lion or a tiger, you want a pet tiger, I recommend you bottle feed it. And then once it's old enough, keep it in a cage. Keep it in a fucking cage. It's nonsense. People are idiots. I'm telling you, they're fucking idiots. And a chimp, same thing. I recommend if you want a pet chimp, you better bottle feed that thing. And then when it's 5, 6 years old, don't have it around your friends. You should probably stop being around it at 7 or 8 years old. It should probably only be in a cage. Why? Because if it gets pissed off, it's going to rip your fucking face off. It'll rip your nose off. It'll rip your lips off. It'll rip your ears off. It'll gouge your eyes out. It'll bite your fingers off. Just because it's pissed off. Why do you think that is? Because they're like us. They're aggressive. They're aggressive. And they have like 5 times more testosterone than a human. It'll rip the car. It can rip a door off of a car. You know? People want those as pets. A chimp. Like maybe the most dangerous animal on the planet other than a human. You know what the big difference is between a human and a chimp? We can kill something from 100 miles away. Yeah, but the chimp you're 50 feet from it. If you can't get away from it, you're dead. It's going to run you down. It's going to rip your nose off. It's the truth. It's ridiculous. People want pets, and they really don't get it. They don't get it. They don't get it. Oh, isn't that cool? Look at that baby chimp. It's adorable. Yeah, and then by the time it's like 9 years old, it can kill an adult human. It's nonsense. It's nonsense. You want a tiger? You want a tiger? You're an idiot. You are. You're an idiot. Now you could say, well, you want a raven? Yeah, it's a raven. It's not going to kill me. It's Sam. He's obnoxious. It's a bird. He's just obnoxious. He can't. How's he going to kill me? He can't. He's just obnoxious. I don't recommend exotics. I don't. And you want a raven? He's a raven. He's a raven. I'm sorry. I don't see birds as exotics. I don't. They're all sort of the same. When I'm talking about exotics, I'm talking about what do I consider an exotic? Well, I don't get tarantulas, but that's fine. It's an insect. It's not going to do anything. But like snakes, why do you want a snake? Oh, I know people are going to be pissed off at this, but why would you want a cold-blooded animal? Do I think that they're cool? Listen, I was involved in herp rescue for years. I had iguanas in my house, and I'm telling you, iguanas, do they make good pets? No. They would climb over me at night like I was a rock. The only time that they really acknowledged me is when I had some lettuce in my hand. It's the only time they come towards me. Other than that, oh look, it's the warm rock. A fucking iguana, big giant iguana, with claws. And the other thing about iguanas, they get spooked, smack them with their tail and shit. Those claws, they'll rip the shit out of you. Why would anybody want a fucking... That's why I was involved in the rescues, because I get them. I get them, and I appreciate them. But they don't make good pets. You'd have to be a moron to want a snake. I'm sorry. My old girlfriend, the doctor, she had a snake for years. I was like, what she never could convince me that thing knew her. It didn't know you. It didn't know her. The doctor with the snake, a beautiful creature. I'm not saying that they're not beautiful. Yeah, they're beautiful. What did she have, a ball python? I think that's what it was. Can it kill an animal? Yeah, it could. We got this huge problem in the Everglades. There all these snakes down there. If you go down there, they have bounties on pythons and shit that have been released into the wild. boa constrictors, there's a bounty on them because they're an invasive species. I hear this nonsense with Sam. Like some moron will say, like, let him go. He would die. It's a domestic bird. He's been fed since he was 3 years old. By the way, Sam is from zoo stock, taken from the wild over 100 years ago. He's a domestic bird. And what is domestication? It means selective breeding has taken place. We're going to breed this bird with this bird. That's domestication, okay? People get confused with taming or training and domestication. It's different shit. You could train a wild animal. You can train a wild animal. But let me be very clear. A wild animal has to be born in the wild. So when I hear that underneath Sam the Raven's videos, I'm like, you're an idiot. A wild animal, for it to be wild, it has to be born in the wild. It's born in the wild, born in captivity, and the lineage goes back over 100 years. That's not a wild animal. That's a domesticated raven. That's what Sam is. He's a hybrid, too. He's a hybrid raven. He's half raven, half crow. Does that make sense, lab partners? That it can't be a wild animal unless it's born in the wild? See what I'm saying? The orcas, that's a huge mistake for about 40 years. The orcas at SeaWorld, killing trainers and shit. That was stupid. They were domesticating them too. They were breeding them in captivity. They were trained with positive reinforcement training. That's a joke. They didn't even want the whale to come out there unless it was super excited. It's fucking moronic. It's moronic. You're keeping a fucking giant fucking whale in a swimming pool. It's stupid. It's stupid. What's it see? It sees walls its whole life? It just sees walls. That's fucking cruel. That's as cruel as getting a bird and keeping it in a cage. You keep a bird in a cage its whole life? Let it out. Get it hand-trained. Hand-train the damn bird. If you don't want to train the bird, then don't get it. If you don't want to train the dog, don't get it. If you have children and then you want to get a pet, you want to get a bird, a cat, whatever, you're not going to work with it? You just want it to, like, be there? Why are you doing it? That's what I want to ask you. Like, if you don't have time for it, why'd you get it? Is it like, like you're window shopping? That looks good. Like you're walking by a pet store, it's got puppies in there. I got to go get one. No, go home and think about it. That's like me thinking about, like, am I going to get a duck? I'm an animal trainer. I work with animals for a living. I'm thinking ahead. I'm going, well, that could be a 6 or 7 pound duck. That would be a lot of shit. Do I want to deal with this? See how I'm thinking? Well, part of the day I would be outside. At night it would be roosting. See, that's the difference between me and you. This is the difference between me and you, is that I think about the animals, how I'm going to exist with the animal. Is it going to go good? I'm thinking about every aspect of getting a pet duck. Every aspect, not just like, oh, I'm going to get a pet duck. People suck. We're at Wegmans. I'm going to take Bowser in Wegmans. See if Bowser has to go to the bathroom before we go in Wegmans. Hurry up, Bowser. All right, that's it. He's just rolling it. See his face? Puts his face in the snow like that. He's insane. Bowser, we're going in the store. Here, heel. He's crazy. He's crazy for snow. He's not crazy because he's a dog. Heel. He goes in my backyard and he looks bitching coming back. He gets like, look at this. Guy loves snow. He loves it. He's a real cool dog. Bowser, heel. I will say that about these golden doodles. They're sort of impervious to cold and snow. Pretty much. Like, they stay a lot longer than me, that's for sure. My feet are wet. They're wet. I'm pretty cold. It's like I'm duck hunting with my dad today. I've had to tell several women so far, just broads, don't do that. Indicating shit to the dog. Bowser, back up. No, heel. Sit. So every asshole and their brother is here today, and now I'm saying, just leave us alone. You know, we don't need your comments. It's the last one. That's what I said. Like, just leave us alone. Just looked at her like, you're an idiot. Keep walking. Bowser's doing good. Bowser. He's doing real good. We picked the slowest cashier ever. But he did real good. Every store we went into, he's been great. Every asshole and their brother was in here trying to fuck with him, though. Have to make comments. My suggestion is this. You're in a store with your service dog. Somebody wants to talk to you or wants to interact with the dog. The best thing you can do is just get away. Just keep walking. Act like you didn't hear him. I do this for a living, so that's the approach that I take. But sometimes I have to say shit because it's so fucking annoying. Just shut up. Shut up, lady that just stops and is staring 3 feet from the dog. You know? Oh, he's lovely. Leave us alone. That's what I said. I said, leave us alone. He's a service dog. Why even say thank you? You know? It's not my dog. I want to say, bitch, it's not my dog. Get out of here. It's just... There's no reason to be polite to grandma. There isn't. There's no reason that anybody should entertain these people at all. It's fucking nonsense. I know that people think that, oh, that Caine, he's Peter Caine, he's like so friendly. If I see him in a store or something, I'm going to go up and say something to him and the dog. I know that that's what y'all think when you see me on the interweb, in one of my videos. I come off like the most friendly guy, don't I? That's why people are coming up to me and Bowser. It has nothing to do with the way that Bowser looks. It's me. It's me and my, just kind of fluffy exterior that I have. Oh, hi, buddy. Who are you? I want to talk to you, stranger. That's the kind of guy people think I am. Well, I'm not. So get the fuck away from me. You see me with a dog? Get away. If you see anybody with a dog, you should just mind your own business. You should. I got sushi for a snack. I'm starving. I'm starving. Bows did great though. Bows did real good. Yeah, that's me, Mr. Fucking Friendly, eating my sushi in Wegmans parking lot. Don't fuck with me. First of all, I'm hungry, so don't fuck with me. Don't even talk to me if you see me. Unless you know me. If you know me, it's a different story. If it's somebody from my channel, somebody from my family, that's different. But I'm with a fucking dog. I'm minding my own business. 10 people must have fucked with us in there. Mostly grandmas. There was a hottie in there, too. She was sweet. She's with her fucking ridiculous-looking husband. What's she doing with that goon? I see that a lot. Like, some hot-looking broad, and her husband looks like a fucking dork. Oh, wait a minute. I just figured it out. Money. The dork has money. Oh, that is really good Wegmans sushi. That guy, Mr. Bowser, he did awesome. He did so good. He's been great. It took him in like 4 stores. It was awesome. It was real good. Like, usually it takes a few times of doing it for him to get sort of calm. He was pretty calm throughout the whole, experience today. No problems. None except for the assholes. My suggestion really is that when you run across these people that want to talk to you about the dog. One guy was like, Hey, can I ask you a question? Yeah. What? Is that a service dog? It has a service dog vest on, asshole. That's what he's asking me. Where'd you get it? Where'd I get the service dog? Yeah. I said I'm a trainer, and I walked off. That's all I said. I'm a trainer. I don't know what to tell you, dude. It's fucking ridiculous. Man, that's good. That is some really good grocery store sushi. Fuck Nobu. I would really like to eat at Nobu. I can't afford it though. I don't know what that would cost. At least, I don't know. I don't drink. So, there wouldn't be that. That wouldn't be a problem. But, still gonna, if you drink, you got a Nobu, I would imagine you're paying $400 a person or something. It would be something like that. It'd have to be. I mean, it's not going to be cheap. So good. All right. You all bore me now. Totally bored with you all. I'm gonna finish my sushi. The only reason why I'm talking with my mouth open, or with food in my mouth, talking with my mouth open. The only reason why I'm talking with food in my mouth is because this is YouTube. And it doesn't matter because I'm fucking mukbanging here. Those crows, the corvids, the crows and ravens that were over Wegmans, they're right down here. They moved. This is the third time I've seen them. I'm gonna go down here and check these things out. There's looks like they're using a pine tree as a roost. There's a lot of them. Maybe I can figure out if they're crows or ravens. There's a lot of big ones, man. I don't know. Let's see. It's in this person's front yard. There's a lot of them. I'm pulling over. Hang on. Pretty big, man. Look at them. They're all roosting. They're over in that tree, too. See them? Let's go around and see if we can see them in that other tree. There's hundreds of them. There's part of them. See? And then they're over there. They'll sort of bump around like this to different trees until it gets, totally dark, and then they'll just chill until the morning. So they're way over there too. There's about four or five trees that, there's hundreds of them, literally hundreds of them. They should come up to Beaver Dams and hang out. I do have a real small, it's a small group of crows. Everybody wants to call them a murderer. It's just a group of crows. That, crows and ravens, they hang out in flocks, but I have a very small flock that hangs out in my backyard for the last, 5-6 years. Not in my backyard, but towards the back where all those, there's some woods back there. And there's, maybe 10. They're always around. They're always around, but it's only like 10 of them. This murder, or whatever you want to call them, I'm going to be honest with you about this, like, it's a murder of crows, a pot of dolphins, whatever. Shut up with it. Who cares? There's several names for groups of birds. I don't even give a shit. I don't. Why would I care? You know? A band of Blue Jays. Shut up. There's a lot of kids that like to post that kind of crap on underneath my videos. Like, it's called a murder. There's a few names that they use for them. It just doesn't matter. It's a group of birds. It's a flock of birds, okay? It's a flock of birds. That's it. It's a flock, okay? So you could call it whatever you want, kid. But it's a flock of birds, okay? It really doesn't matter, does it? Does it? What are you, like the bird expert? Oh, it's a murder of crows. It's stupid. It is. It's stupid. It is. It's dumb. The fascination with ravens and crows, I live with one. You know, I live with Sam. But I just, you know, there seems like this, like, myth. It's all about myth. Most of it's bullshit. What, Aesop's fable and that kind of crap? It's just fucking dumb shit. Oh, a raven, that's the smartest bird on the planet. Oh, really? How many birds do you know, idiot? Seriously, how many birds do you know? To say something is stupid. It's a bird that's been studied a lot. That's what the deal is. It's a bird that's been studied a lot. All of the birds that have been domesticated have been studied. That's it. Chickens, studied. All birds have been studied. Most species of birds, they've all just, somebody's studied them at one time. But it's just nonsense, like to say, oh, that's one of the smartest animals on the planet. But just shut up, you know? Really? Compared to what? To a gray parrot, a cockatoo? They're all different. They're all different is the point. It's like, what does it matter? How smart is relative. Like, so why would you even consider some species of animal smart in what term? Like, how is it smart? You mean as far as like a human goes, like what we can do? The ability to like reason? Just shut up, you know? There's a lot of animals that can do that, you know? There's a lot of animals that can do some things that can't do other things. Like a dog can do some things that a chimp can't do. It's a fact. It is. It's a fact. Like you like interacting with a human, you can teach a dog to cast. You can't cast an ape. They don't give a shit. You could put a grape underneath a box and point to it to the ape, and they're still not going to get it. They don't know what you're saying. You put something underneath, you know, you hide it from the dog, you can point to it and they pick it up right away. It's just ridiculous to put our human experiences on animals that are non-human. It's just nonsense. One of the biggest. It's a big mistake. Most of it's like they're like us emotionally and stuff. It's nonsense. Like the elephants. Like, oh look, the elephant's having a funeral for the baby elephant. No, they're not. They were not having a funeral. Okay, they weren't crying. Elephants' eyes water. Okay, they water. They're not crying. The baby elephant died, and you know, instinct tells them to protect the baby. And because it's an elephant, it's not that smart. They don't start leaving until the elephant starts smelling like it's rotting, and they know it's dead. That's it. And then it starts smelling. They move on their way. They're not gonna. They'd do the same thing if the elephant was injured, the baby elephant. They would protect it. So, you know, they're protecting it until they realize, oh, this thing doesn't smell right. We should just go. It's the truth. So some animals right at death. They like birds. Let's take birds for an example. Like a pigeon. They hook up for life. This is a fact. That's why Remy's so faithful. She thinks I'm her husband. So they hook up for life, and then, but as soon, I guarantee you, I've already seen it. If one of the pigeons dies and there's another pigeon available, they hook up like that. I'm talking, they don't mourn at all. They don't. So like a human, you're like, oh, they hook up for life. There must be some kind of love there. Oh, really? Okay. You mean like our love? Because we're shitty to each other. We're terrible to each other. We are. Pigeons are totally different. Pigeons, they fight and then they fuck. This is the truth. They fight and then they fuck. We fuck and then we fight. It's the truth. Then we just start bickering at each other. We I'm bored with you. Don't say humans are faithful, because they're not. They're not. Generally speaking, they're not. Every animal on this planet is unique, including me, you. We're all different. We're all unique. Every species is unique. There's no reason to, try and pigeonhole it into anything like us, because they're not anything like us. It's a fact. They're nothing like us. We're unique in that we have all this gray matter up here. It doesn't make us any better. That's the whole thing that gets me. It does. It just really bothers me. There's sort of like this, like we're so great or something. Really? Why are we so great? Well, why do there's animals that are stupid that get like absolutely no respect because they're dumb compared to us. It's ridiculous. It's like I hear people say, "Oh, pig's smart," as if that should matter. It shouldn't matter. Okay, so if it's so smart, why are we eating it? We're eating pigs. I'm not saying that they're stupid. Trust me, I'm not saying that they're stupid. They get around. The other thing that I find outrageous is it's always like, well, one animal is smarter than the other. Like the herbivore is stupid and the carnivore is smart. Oh, really? How do you figure? How do you figure a wolf is any smarter than a fucking buffalo? How do you figure? It takes just as much brain power to outrun and weave in and out, not get caught by the carnivore. It does. I don't know. You're splitting hairs. When I think about this shit, I'm like, you're just splitting hairs. The buffalo's trainable. Absolutely. The goat's trainable. Now, when you want to talk about dumb, let's talk about the cold-blooded animals. Now, those animals are dumb. They are. That's me being I'm judging the animal and the speciesist. I am. Totally. I don't like the bat. Bats wig me out. It's the only animal that wigs me out. That's the honest God truth. I had a possum in my house, right? The door was open, possum was in there. Go over and pick it up, no problem. Put it outside. Get out of here, possum. Don't come back. I did that another time in front of somebody and they were freaked out. I picked up a possum for a friend of mine. And they're like, we got to call animal control. I said, what's the matter? I'll deal with it. I went over there and picked it up. It's a problem. It's a possum. I wash my hands, okay? I wash my hands. But it's like, we're all different. We're all unique. It's just lumping animals into anything that they don't have any resemblance of us. And if you have a dog and you want to, think about it in an anthropomorphic way, it's such a mistake. That's why we have 4 million dogs dying every year. 4 million dogs dying. Oh, I'm not going to have to train that. I just had to love it. As if your dog needs your love. They function without love. They function better without love. They live in the wild just fine. It's when they live around us that's the problem. And then people don't want to train the dog. They think that, this is the line that I hear a lot. Like the the dog has to go to the animal shelter or whatever. They're getting rid of the dog, and they always say something like, I gave that dog everything. Yeah, you gave that dog everything except what it needed, which was training and discipline. That was too much work for you. It was too much work. That's the point that I'm trying to make. Do I want to get a duck? It might create more work for me. I already have a ton of work. But now that I'm feeling better, yeah, I might get a duck. I might. But I also might get a puppy. And I'd really like one of Lola's puppies. I would. That would be awesome. If I had a Maltese, I'd train that fucker to do upland game. It would be hunting grouse with me the second year. I definitely. We would be hunting grouse and it'd be wicked. I just don't get people and how the thoughts of like what they think a dog is and what a pet's supposed to be, and you know, it's the last 130 years with the dog, 140 years, something like that. Like the dogs have just become like couch. You know, I'm just gonna get a dog and it's just gonna walk around my house and do nothing. Get on my couch, and if it bites my kid, I love that dog. I love the damn dog. How dare it bite my child? I gave it everything. It's gotta go. It's gotta go. I've seen it. I've seen it a million times. Millions of times. Well, not millions, but I've seen it a lot of times. That was an exaggeration for sure. But it happens millions of times. That's the point that I'm trying to make. Millions of dogs are dying every year because people are unrealistic. They don't train them. They don't. They don't train them. They just want to love them. God, I remember somebody calling me up and they want to talk to me about training their dog. And, oh, he's a real lover. Shut up. I didn't train their dog. I didn't. I couldn't work with the person. The person just was like an idiot. You know, I got rid of somebody on Facebook recently that was an idiot. You know, I don't, you know, you're not gonna buy me. I had somebody a while back that I told them no, and then they started offering me more money. That won't work with me. I'm too content being broke. My life is so miserable. You offering me another $1,000 isn't gonna make it any better. It isn't. That's not gonna do shit for me. You want me to suck it up? Better be a whole lot more than that. What do you think? What do you think? I don't have any scruples. I don't, you know, I'll just do whatever. Oh no, that's you. That's most people. Most people can be bought. You can't buy me. You can't buy me. It's a fact. If I think you're an asshole, I'm not gonna work with you. I'm not gonna train your fucking dog, and that's it. I already knew the person from that I got rid of on Facebook that want, you know, it's like, fuck it, this guy is a dick. He's not gonna work out with his dog. He starts talking about he's just gonna buy an e-collar, as if, oh yeah, you just strap the e-collar on the dog. I was like, you're not on my Facebook friends list. Bye, you're blocked. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I just, the people like, oh yeah, everything's gonna work out great. It'll make it easy for me if I get an e-collar on the dog. No, you're gonna flip the dog out. This guy's gonna flip this dog out, and then when the dog's fucked up, I could tell where this was going. All of a sudden, he gets a puppy. I start hearing from the guy again, asking stupid questions or whatever. I'm like, no, it's not gonna work out like that. I'm not gonna clean up this dude's mess. I'm not gonna. The guy has money. He could have just said, yeah, here's the puppy. He asked me, I said, yeah, train your dog. You get the dog. Don't even let your kids deal with it. Just send it right to me. You didn't listen to me about that, so that was one. And then two, I'm hearing, oh, he's got to get an e-collar. Strap it on the puppy. I'm like, okay, bye.